Hello. Today I'm in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania is virtually bankrupt. The city is facing some incredibly intense economic challenges, and the incinerator behind me is one of the reasons why. This is Capitalism 2012.
My name's Jeff Frantz. I'm a reporter with the Harrisburg Patriot News. I'm here to meet Henry Rollins. He's going to be doing an online chat with PennLive.com, that's our website, and then I'm going to show him around Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. It's the state capital, it's virtually bankrupt, and it's $1.5 billion in debt.
How long has Harrisburg been in financial trouble, and what do you attribute as factor-wise as to the economic problems it's facing?
Harrisburg had an incinerator to burn trash, and it was in a point that they knew they needed to either just close it down because it was not going to stay with current EPA regulations, or they would need to do a retrofit. And the retrofit was very expensive. So what they did was they kind of tried to split the difference and do sort of a retrofit, but do it in a way with unproven technology that had never really been used anywhere near the scale they wanted to use it at. So the city started borrowing a lot of money. And as they're taking out a lot of these bond issues, they're saying that it'd be self-liquidating, which essentially just means that the revenue the incinerator is going to generate will eventually pay for itself. That never happened. That never came close to happening.
If this keeps going on, what happens to the people of Harrisburg?
Harrisburg, as a city which has about 45,000 people, many of whom live either in poverty or in just near the poverty line, are now going to be burdened with paying much higher rates of taxes. Just last night, they had the third tax increase in the past year, two of which are related directly to this bigger fiscal mess.
Right, the earned income tax, right?
Yeah. If you make $30,000 a year, you're paying an extra $300 a year starting next year on top of everything else you pay. Right. And again, if you make $30,000 a year, that's a lot of money. We're in South Harrisburg, and this is the incinerator. So it's a big fire-burning machine that is right now about $350 million in debt.
From what you said to me, it sounds like it was nothing but a bunch of half measures. Look good for a fiscal quarter, look good for an election year, basically more cosmetic than really solving the problem. But quite often when you go and do things by half measure, you end up, well, I don't know how else to say, you screw yourself. It sounds like maybe someone went a little cheap, or maybe couldn't sell the city the idea of this is going to cost an incredible amount of money. How do you sell that to people who are making $30,000 a year?
There are people now who look back and say the right answer would have been to say, you know what, maybe Harrisburg doesn't need its own incinerator. Maybe we just shut the whole thing down, mothball it, and then if we have to pay a little more to get a neighboring county to take care of some of our trash, that's really what we have to do.
So tell us where we are now.
We're in Allison Hill. This is one of the most concentrated neighborhoods in the city. You've got more people living here than anywhere else. You've got a quarter of the city's population lives within a quarter mile where we're standing right now.
Wow.
So in the 1950s, 1960s, if you weren't really rich, this is the neighborhood you wanted to live in.
So this was a middle-class neighborhood?
Oh, yeah.
And now?
It's one of the most diverse neighborhoods. It's also one of the poorest neighborhoods.
In your opinion, what can other cities in America learn from what's going on in Harrisburg?
First and foremost, pay attention. Pay attention to what your leaders are doing. Pay attention to the sort of deals they're making. And when they say we want to borrow $20 million or $100 million, what exactly for? What will that money be used for exactly? Ask those questions, because that's a lot of ways how we got here.
And this is Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, a state capital. Next up, Albany, New York.